Hi, this is Greg Schnell, and I'm here with your Daily 5 for July the 21st, 2020. And I'm going to cover off a bigger picture perspective. I've been doing it over the last couple of shows with StockCharts on the market buzz and on the charting the second half. I did a separate half-hour video, and then I did a video with Dave Keller on Saturday where I was on the panel at the end of the week. And one of the things I'm talking about these days is the big picture on the electricity gap. And one of the things that's happening is a lot of people are getting very excited about moving to electric cars. And with that move to electric cars, we have a small problem. First of all, we had brownouts and blackouts before we had electric cars. So now all of a sudden we're going to put major loads on the grid that are going to make it very difficult for cities to have enough power. So we have a whole backdrop of electricity requirements that we need to meet. And there's many different facets of it. I'm going to start here with a railway, but I'm going to work through 5 different charts, which all encompass a theme around needing more copper, more raw materials to make different parts of that electrical grid work. And from that, hopefully that'll give you some ideas. And with my subscribers, I give them a whole chart list of stocks that they could use, and they're all different types of stocks that they could be invested in that might have a different macro theme, but all in different industries or sectors. So I'm going to start here with Canadian National Resources, and let me just work through my indicators. So I've got the StockCharts technical ranking up at the top. That's like a sports ranking for stocks, and so the top performers, the ones with the price moving fastest, are up at the top, and the weaker performers are down at the bottom. And then the second one is comparing to the S&P 500, and usually a stock just behaves better when it's outperforming the S&P 500, so that's what we'd like to see. And then the full stochastics just says where is it in the recent price range, and in this case it's up at the top, but lots of people like to buy them when they're just dipping down here and about to turn. And then down at the bottom here I've got the volume, and then I've got a momentum indicator. Some people use the MACD. I like to use the PPO, the percentage price oscillator. And essentially what you can see here is this stock has had a gently downtrending momentum where each rise runs out of juice, and we're just about to break through that here, and that's what we'd like to see as price breaks through this 2-year ceiling on the stock. So with Canadian Natural breaking out to new highs, that's bullish because everybody who owns the stock is making money right here. So less desire to sell, more desire to make more money. So that's the idea behind buying new highs. And with that, what we want to see now on this stock is we want to make sure that it does keep its breakout above this 94 level. And as it starts to head higher, then we just keep moving our stop up. But in general, the stock has been kind of consolidating for a while. And in February, it was getting ready to go and then pulled back. We'd like to see that ramp start to continue again. And here's BHP. They're one of the largest miners in the world of all things iron ore, copper, zinc, lead, all that stuff. And so we need all of those components to build out the electrical grid. And one of the big themes is copper. BHP is an Australian mining company, and I used BHP. I could have used Rio Tinto, ticker symbol RIO, that just broke out to fresh new highs last week, kind of like the Canadian National Railway chart. The idea being that this is just starting to get ready to break out, so I thought I'd use the one that hasn't broken out yet and looks ready to run. The downward momentum trend has broken, and now the stock is above zero, or the PPO is above zero and moving higher and has broken this trend line. I really like this feature, or this look on this momentum indicator. And I like the fact that it was underperforming the S&P 500 and it has now started a rising trend of outperforming the S&P 500. And I would like to see the StockCharts technical ranking kick up a little bit higher. So that's for general mining, and we need copper, right? We need lots of copper to get this going. And when we do this, everybody's got NIMBY. Nobody wants it in their backyard, or not in my backyard, NIMBY. And the idea being, we're going to have to build these windmill farms, we're going to have to build solar plants, we're going to have to build natural gas generators or wave generators or nuclear plants or something. And then we need transmission lines to haul all this power to the big cities. And then as everybody has bigger power requirements at home, we'll probably end up putting in, dryer outlets in everybody's garage to plug in their electric cars. And in general, bump the capacity of the grid. So that's going to mean a lot more copper on the backbone for the transmission lines and within the city to move it around, as well as in your home. So with that big proposal, one of the big ideas is how are we going to grow that energy? And New York has said they're going to put in $750 million to build out the electricity charging grid. Now, why that isn't a private enterprise like it was for gasoline, I have no idea. But in Europe, they're doing it. In Canada, they're doing it. In New York, they're doing it. In America, they're doing it. They're doing it all over to try and spend money on green energy. And again, that we're going to need it, which is fine. The big question is why government has to do it. But that's not our problem. Our problem is we want to invest with it. And here's First Solar breaking a 2-year downtrend in price and starting to break out above that. That's beautiful when it happens, much like when this one broke here. It was a big long surge for almost a year. And you see the PPO trend line declining and starting to move up here. Very nice. And the scooter ranking is up around 90. And you can see for First Solar, it ran for 4 or 5 months really hot and the price was moving. It ran for a whole year up here and price made a big move. And then in 2019, the scooter ranking held up here for 6 months, and we've just started to get up here, so it looks pretty tasty. The next stock is Brookfield Renewables, and they build renewable energy infrastructure and power supply. So as this stock starts to break out, you can see the scooter ranking's been up here for over a year, and it looks like it's ready to turn higher. It's been outperforming the S&P 500, and it's just recently broken through, I'll call it a 6-month kind of consolidation pattern, including the COVID wave. And now we've broken out last week to fresh 6-month highs, but really, I think it looks ready to go to all-time highs right here, right now.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're going to bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.